House Oversight Chairman James Comer says his committee is finding a pattern among the Biden family and payments disguised as loans from China. It comes as Comer says he believes House Republicans would now have enough votes for a formal impeachment inquiry into the president. All this as Hunter Biden is set to head to Capitol Hill next week for a closed-door deposition and a possible public hearing. Let's bring in Jonathan Turley now, Fox News contributor, law professor and attorney, and with a heads-up, professor, that the White House briefing is we're inside a 2-minute window where that is set to begin, and we certainly want to get an update from there. You're writing about the several Hunter Biden personalities that might testify before Congress. You say here are the possibilities: Hunter the genius, Hunter the international businessman, Hunter the drug addict, Hunter the hunted. Explain.
Well, this has been a series of efforts to reinvent Hunter as the scandal has gotten to be more and more serious, as the circle is closed in tighter around the Biden family. And a lot of these personalities don't make any sense anymore. This idea that Hunter Biden was some blacked out junkie, that to raise corruption is to insult all reformed people who fought addiction, is ridiculous. I mean, he was at the center of a global effort of influence peddling that produced millions of dollars for the Biden family through a complex series of accounts and shell companies. Now, it just doesn't add up. So he's going to have to answer questions now. And a lot of these past excuses are just not going to hold.
So over the weekend, Comer discussed a bank investigator's concerns, as we mentioned, Jonathan, concerns regarding loan payments made to Hunter from China, saying the evidence fits a pattern with the Biden family. Here's Comer on Sunday Morning Features. Listen.
Subpoenaed bank records that show Hunter Biden's business entity, Owasco PC, made direct monthly payments to Joe Biden. This wasn't a payment from Hunter Biden's personal account, but an account for his corporation that received payments from China and other shady corners of the world.
He also says he's confident that House Republicans will have the floor votes to authorize a formal impeachment inquiry into the president. How does all of this change things, Jonathan?
Well, I think that vote is long overdue. When I testified in the first Biden impeachment hearing, I said that there was ample evidence to justify an impeachment inquiry and that a formal vote should be held. I can't imagine how anyone would look at this evidence and not believe that a formal inquiry should begin. There's been a litany of lies that have come out of the Biden family and the White House. The president denied knowing about any of these business arrangements. Even Hunter said that wasn't true. We now know he called in numerous times to talk with clients. He had meetings, photographs with these clients. And now we see joint accounts where money is moving to Joe Biden. We even have Joe Biden's house being listed for some of these payments by Hunter Biden. It's rather daunting to imagine what you need, according to the Democrats. So I think the moment of truth has arrived. Democrats have either got to show that they stand against corruption and approve an inquiry, or they have to take ownership of this, because influence peddling is the favorite form of corruption in Washington. But none of us have seen the likes of this.
Yeah, so, I mean, all interesting developments. Comer adding over the weekend that he's confident that House GOP will have the votes for a formal Biden impeachment inquiry. House Speaker Mike Johnson said an impeachment inquiry vote became necessary, the necessary next step, after he claimed that the administration stonewalled the investigation into the first family. So with Hunter Biden, Jonathan, heading to Capitol Hill for testimony, what sort of are your expectations for that as we leave off here? What will that look and sound like?
All right. Well, I think he's going to do a mix of all these different images that have been created by his team. I think he's going to claim that he has no memory because of his past drug addiction on some issues. Then he'll state with clarity of other issues. It just won't wash. This circle is tightening around the Bidens in a way that they can no longer expect an enabling media to protect them.
Very interesting stuff. Jonathan Turley, as always, thank you so much, sir.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.